All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, which is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who is the Mashiach, Waharakah Quadash, which means Spirit Holy. And not really sure what I'm going to title this lesson, but it's mainly going to be going into Herod, who persecuted Yahweh Shai as soon as he was born, pretty much, fulfilling prophecy in Revelation, the 12th chapter, about the woman who brought forth the man child, And when you go into, research, you find out that Herod was of the Herodian dynasty after the Hasmonean dynasty, which were Israelites, were brought down. The Herodian dynasty rose to power and came into subduing Jerusalem at that time, and was a sub-province of the Roman Empire. And this pretty much sheds light on, as far as prophecy goes, where it talks about the red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns being and representing the nation of Edom or Esau. Okay. So this is Matthew's 2:1. Now, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jordan, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. All right. So Herod was troubled at this, because he was set up as king of Jerusalem at that time. And Yahweh Shai was pretty much, a threat to his rulership. Just as he's going to be in his second coming, when he returns to take the crown from all of these nations that are in rulership, the chief nation being the Edomites who are in rulership today. Okay. It says, and when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea. For thus it is written by the prophet, out of Bethlehem in the land of Judah art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of these shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. All right, so Herod, wasn't aware of this prophecy, being, of the line of Esau. Okay. So he wanted to pretty much have Yahweh Shai put to death as about to go into. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. All right. So showing you that, Yahweh Shai being, a special child who was born, the only begotten son of Yahweh and anointed, he represented that star, just as, the nation of Israel represent, like the stars of the heavens. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. All right. So let's go to Revelations, the 12th chapter, because that, links up with prophecy. It's Revelation 12:1, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And this woman is representing the nation of Israel. All right, and that's what the 12 stars represent, which is representing all 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Because John the Revelator was seeing this through a vision that Yahushua was showing him on the island of Patmos. So this is all, parabolic talk. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. All right. So when you read about the dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, it represents nations, kings, and rulerships, predominantly, Edomite nations. OK, just as this was going back to the Roman Empire at that time, where, pretty much the only tribes that was in the land of Israel, mainly because you still had remnants of the other tribes of the northern kingdom, was mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. OK, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. All right. So going back to, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who was the only 3 tribes left in the nation of Israel, or in the land of Israel at that time. And they cast them to the earth. All right. Because we were in subjection to these Edomites under, the Herodian dynasty, as well as the Roman Empire. They had us tributaries. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. All right. So Herod fulfilled this prophecy, concerning Yahushua. All right. And just as, they persecuted Yahushua, they're going to persecute, his prophets, that bring, these things to light, And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up onto the Most High and to his throne. Right, because when Yahushua, was a sacrifice for the nation of Israel, when he was resurrected again, he stood with the apostles and was beamed into, the chariots and took him into the clouds, and now is in the spiritual realm where the Most High, Yahweh, and the angels dwell. Okay. So going back to Matthew, the 2nd chapter. All right. That was a fulfillment of prophecy, as far as Herod, who was an Edomite, persecuting that man child. in Revelations, the 12th chapter. All right. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm only going to get into some of this. It says Herod, which means heroic, the name of a royal family that flourished among the Jews in the times of Hamashiach and the apostles. Herod the Great was the son of Antipater of Idumea. All right. So let's take a look on Google, for that word Idumea. Okay. I typed this in earlier, before I start this lesson. But when you type in Idumea, it's pretty much the Greek way of saying Edom. All right. Edom was an ancient kingdom in Transjordan, located between Moab in the northeast and Arabah in the west and the Arabian Desert to the south and east. Most of its former territory is now divided between Israel and Jordan. All right, because, underneath it was located underneath the southern kingdom, the land of Judah. All right. And in the kingdom, we're, going to receive that portion of land. So our border, the land of Judah is actually going to be extended because we're actually going to claim these Edomites' land in the kingdom, but that's another topic. All right. So let's put in Edom. Edom meaning. It says the Hebrew word Edom means red. Okay. And it is derived from the name of its founder Esau. All right. The elder son of the Hebrew patriarch Isaac, because he was born red all over. All right. Because when you look at these so-called white people, they're really not white. They're really red. All right. They have translucent skin because of their lack of pigmentation, and their blood shows forth through their skin. All right. As a young adult, he sold his birthright to his brother Jacob for red pottage. All right. So that's going into the fact that even though he was the firstborn of Isaac, he sold his birthright, to Jacob for red pottage. He didn't have the spirit or faith in him to, fast instead of discounting his birthright, which is the reason to this day that because Esau was intercepted from that blessing, that Esau hates you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to this day, because the elites, they know that they go back to the line of Esau. All right. And they don't want us, to receive the blessing and the promise that our forefather Isaac had promised us, which is to have an everlasting kingdom, which is, going to be the kingdom of heaven. That's what these Edomites don't want you Israelites, who's still in plantation Christianity to know. It says the Tanakh describes the Edomites as descendants of Esau. So you so-called white people, you're the only ones who fit the trait of being red all over. All the other nations have brown pigmentation. All of these prophecies about Edom leads back to you Edomites, to you so-called white people. But y'all have the nerve to discredit us bringing out the scriptures because it hurts you, and the fact that you can't face the reality that these scriptures point to your condemnation. And even if you try to discredit us, putting up lessons, being out there on the highways and hedges, The fact remains that Most High spoke these things, and that your condemnation is found in the scriptures, and that you're going to receive your condemnation for all the wickedness that you have sown in the earth. As a nation, you're going to go into slavery under the Israelites. All right, so I might read just a little bit more of this, but mainly the point is pretty much being made. All right, it says, appointed king of Judea, BC 40, by the Roman Senate at the suggestion of Antony and with consent of Octavian. He at length overcame the great opposition of the country made to him and took possession of the kingdom BC 37. All right, because before these devils, took the land of Jerusalem, the Hasmonean dynasty, which were Israelites, was in control at that time. And they rose, and the Hasmonean dynasty, when you read up about them, went back to Judas Maccabees. When you read in the Apocrypha about the Maccabean family that pretty much rebelled against Antiochus Epiphanes. All right. It says, and after the battle of Actium, he was confirmed by Octavian, whose favor he ever enjoyed. He was brave and skilled in war, and learned and sagacious, but also extremely suspicious and cruel. Hence he destroyed the entire family of the Hasmoneans, put to death many of the Jews that opposed his government, and proceeded to kill even his dearly beloved wife, Mariamne, which fuck that traitor ass bitch, and to you bitches who want to be in interracial relationships with these fucking devils to this day, excuse my French, of the Hasmonean line and his 2 sons she had borne him. By these acts of bloodshed, and especially by his love and imitation of Roman customs and institutions, and by the burdensome taxes imposed upon his subjects, he so alienated the Jews that he was unable to regain their favor by his splendid restoration of the temple and other acts of munificence. All right, so just because, he restored the temple or whatnot, our people still really didn't want to fuck with him like that. He was still ill favored in the eyes of you Israelites in the land of Judea at the time. He died in the 70th year of his age, the 37th year of his reign, the 4th before Dionysian era. In his closing years, John the Baptist and Amashiach were born. All right. Matthew narrates that he commanded all the male children under 2 years old in Bethlehem to be slain. Okay. So that's the dragon, the great red dragon that represents Esau or Edom in Revelation the 12th chapter, persecuting the man-child. Okay. I'm going to read the 4th verse in Revelation the 12th chapter again. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and they cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations. All right. And that's what Yahushua is getting ready to come back to do, is to rule all nations with that rod of iron. And and her child was caught up onto the Most High and to his throne. Okay, so basically the Most High is just having Yahushua, wait until he's given the instruction to come and subdue the entire earth underneath his authority and his power. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her 1,203 score days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Now remember, the dragon represents the Roman Empire. All right. And America is an extension of that Roman Empire. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. All right. So with pretty much Trump trying to fund, or get a space program off the ground, that space program is mainly so that they can combat the angels and the chariots, which they're going to lose miserably. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Who's going around deceiving the whole earth? Okay, I mean, it's Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who took all the dark images of the saints and of Yahushua, who the world only calls Jesus Christ, and turned them from dark images of, you so-called Negroes into, images of being so-called white, So basically, who put themselves as the face of the most High and his son, being the fact that Yahushua is the express image of the Most High by putting up Caesar Borgia. Who got the world deceived through this whole God loves everybody doctrine in Christianity, when Yahushua only came and died and resurrected for the nation of Israel? Okay. So, I'm pretty sure, the point was made, and all of these prophecies, we're gonna keep hitting you devils with these prophecies, man. And y'all gonna continue to lose sleep over it. All right, until y'all be taken out of the way. Okay. So with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I hope you Akim out there that tuned in was edified. And until next time, I say Shalom.